On today's show, we are going to talk about a sensitive topic, which is remaining yourself even when you are a mother and a wife. Tugenda kuyogera ku topic ereeta ebiruubirirwa by'okubanga tebirekeddwa muguluka oba tebyerabiddwa olw'ensonga nti ofuuse mukyala mufumbo oba ofuuse maama. Wabaawo ebirowoozo bye tuba nabyo, wabaawo ebirooto bye tuba nabyo, wabaawo opinions ze tuba nazo nga tetunnaba kufumbirwa era nga tetunnaba kuzaala baana. So twagala tulabe bwe mba mmaze okuzaala abaana oba ne mmala nga nfuuse omukyala omufumbo, ngenda kusobola ntya okubalansinga identities zino bbiri, ey'okubeera maama n'omukyala n'ey'ebiruubirirwa ebyange nga bye nnali njagala. Kubanga bwe tuba tuyingira mu relationships zino, abaagalwa baffe olumu tubabuulirako ku birooto bye tuba tulina, naye ate bwe tumala okufumbirwa tufuuka maama wa gundi, tufuuka mukyala gundi. We surrender and we become someone whose wife, someone whose mother. Then we sacrifice our dreams. We become centered. We give our life to one individual. Our life becomes centered to others, and we forget hearing our inner voice. Yeah. So today we are going to have a discussion on how to remain with the two identities, because the identity is not supposed to erase you; it is supposed to be supported. All right. So we are going to have the discussion. Just stay tuned as we dive into the show. So, briefly, remaining yourself as a family, a woman, and a mother does not mean that you're going to surrender your dreams. It does not mean that you're going to sacrifice everything you believed in. Yeah? It is just a period that you are supposed to learn how to balance the two. The two here, I'm looking at a woman, I'm looking at wife and mother as one identity, and the other identity of who you are. The real you before you became a mother, before you became a wife. There was that other person of you. That other version of you is the one I'm looking at now. So how would you remain the other version and then a mother and wife? Yeah, because as we get into the marriage kind of life and then motherhood, we tend to erase everything that we believed in. And then we make every decision that favors the spouses, that favors the children. You know, as we get into the motherhood stage, over the motherhood period of life, everything we think of, everything we dream of, everything we even, every opinion, every decision, every dream, everything we do, it's about, I'm doing this for my children, I'm doing this for my children, I want my children to be this, I'm looking at this because my children will A, B, C, D. And then we forget who we are. There is a time when the children will not be there, but when we are nobody, because we meant everything to them in the time we could fight for ourselves. All right? So, many women slowly disappear actually into responsibilities. They become someone whose wife, they become someone whose mother. That could be okay, but it does not fully mean that you cannot be another person. Then, over time, if this is done, if you are this person who is always centering yourself on others, you're going to reach a time and feel sad when every child you cared for, every child you sacrificed for has left. You know, there's that time when everyone has left home and you're alone. You sacrificed everything for these people, and then they are gone, they are away. you're going to go into emotional sadness. You're going to go into loneliness. You're going to go into actually sleepless nights. You can even become stressful. You can get stressed over and over because, I wish this one could understand. I sacrificed a lot for them. I did not even go for my hobbies. I didn't even make my dreams come true because of everything I was sacrificing for them. It's going to get back to you. Why? Because you forgot hearing your inner voice. You forgot believing in who you are to make sure that in this stage where you're regretting whatever you sacrificed for is not affecting you. So balance the two identities. Be a good woman over wife, be a good mother, but then still have something you keep for yourself. Have a belonging, have something that belongs to you. Have your friends around, have your hobby, have your opinions respected. Have, as we're going to break through these points, we are going to have a discussion on every point that we are going to discuss together. Actually, number one, remember that your roles are not your entire identity. Remember that your roles, the roles of mother and the role of wife, is not your whole identity. Being a wife and mother is a role you carry. Yeah, it's a role you carry. You carry a role as a mother, you carry a role as a wife. Not a total definition of who you are. Who you are is the person that you were before you got the children, before you got the husband. You are still a woman with opinions. You are still a woman with dreams. You are still a woman with a vision. You are still a woman who could plan ahead of the best of yourself. You understand? You are still an individual with values, actually. You are still a person who had like talent, yeah? You're still a woman who had a talent. You're still a woman who had a passion. You're still a woman who had a dream, vision, goal. Everything that you've ever think of a younger girl can have. You are still that person who had all that. Just to bring them back. You can temporarily pause on how you're going to let them happen, but you have to bring back that kind of identity because that is who you are. And remember, this the marriage and motherhood is not supposed to erase your identity. It is supposed to support it. All right? And then there is keeping something that belongs to you. Baako keweekuumira nga kako naye nga tekali mu kukosa ky'okuza oba ky'ozimba nti ng'omukyala nga maama. Bwe tuyogera wano tutegeeza ati what do we mean here? When we are married and when we are mothers, there is this kind of us thinking that we belong to a man. Your life gets centered on an individual. Your life gets centered on others. My children, everything, my children, everything, my husband, my husband doesn't like this. When I do this, this will happen. You forget that you even have friends. You forget that you have a hobby. You forget that you have a dream. You understand? You forget that you have a career. You put everything on hold because you are centering yourself on a person. Someone who is creative. Someone who could actually get a personal time and review her life. You no longer get time to yourself. Why? Because everything you actually get into it at a time of actually pleasing people. You try to be the best mother, you try to be the best wife, you try to do everything because you want to be the best. And you forget something that belongs to you. Something that makes you feel you. At the end of the day, when everything that you felt belonged to you was distanced from you, when the time for it to benefit you comes, you'll be with nothing. And at the end of the day, you're going to start feeling the sadness we've talked about. Then we have another point of do not abandon your dreams completely, which we've talked about as we are starting the conversation. Do not, the marriage and motherhood, when we become mothers and when we become wives, of course the dreams may differ. Yeah, the dreams may differ because now we are mothers, we are going to try to think big, we are going to dream big on everything that we are going to think about. But what you can actually do here, you can pause temporarily. Just rechange the timelines, adjust the timelines. But doesn't mean that the dreams have to completely die, that this will never happen. I am a mother, I'm someone's wife. There was nothing I can ever dream of apart from being a wife and a mother. Just pause temporarily, slow down on the pace that you could have used before you're a mother. And then resume when you are ready. But do not be a woman who doesn't dream. Do not be a woman who doesn't have a vision. Do not be a woman who is not going to think beyond being a wife and a mother. All right? And then we are also going, when we are married, we try to think that everything we do will either positively affect the spouse or negatively affect the spouse. But remember, a healthy relationship or a healthy partner should not actually get scared of your growth. They shouldn't worry about your growth. They shouldn't be afraid of your growth. They shouldn't fear your growth. They should support it. Because everything you're dreaming of, everything you want to see done is because you are a responsible mother. Because you're a responsible wife or you're a responsible woman. Responsibility is not going to be put on the measuring scale that we are going to tell now this one is responsible. Then when we put something here, something doesn't add up. No. The responsibility is going to start with yourself and your partner. By fulfilling what you dreamt of, by making sure your dream, your vision, your goal is accomplished together. Are we together on that? Then we are going to look at another point, which is learning to set emotional boundaries. You can actually 100% remain who you are by setting boundaries. On this point, falling in love or having a relationship or marriage does not mean losing your voice. You are still a woman who is going to talk about a disagreement, talk about something you're unhappy about, respectively. You are still going to be a woman who can say no when it is called for. You can still be a woman who is going to ask for support when you feel you're broken, when you feel you're down. Don't come up and say you can endure yet you are dying. You are still that woman who can ask support. When you set boundaries, I don't mean boundaries of don't see me, don't meet me, I'm not going to get to you. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about boundaries that protect you emotionally. Boundaries that protect your growth emotionally. Because when you're broken, it is very hard for everyone to understand what you're going through, because you're going to get reserved. All right? And the moment you get reserved on what is hurting you, it is killing you alone inside. If you are with a spouse who will not actually care why your face has changed, why you're so quiet, why you sleep early, why you don't even eat, then it will keep killing you. So when those boundaries are set, the boundary of seeking support, the boundaries of asking for support, the boundaries of speaking about something that is hurting you, it will not get to emotions. It will not deeply put you down to the extent that you cannot even get emotionally safe. Are we together? Because boundaries are not disrespect, they are emotional protection, as we've discussed. It is protecting your emotions. Protecting your emotions, your mental health. There is a time you can get to explode when you have a lot on your mind, but you've not shared with anyone. You're going to explode. The moment you see somebody who did what is hurting you, the moment you see them, you feel like you want to do something that is so crazy. But you're not in a position to do it. At the end of the day, you're going to start distancing yourself. The distancing yourself does not mean you are emotionally protecting yourself. Even that corner where you've gone, you still hurt. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about speaking about it. This is a disagreement. You have hurt me. I am not happy about it. And I think we need to talk about it. Let's have a discussion, Andrew. I'm not happy about this. Whether Andrew apologizes or doesn't apologize, but you have talked about it. You feel released. Your emotions are protected already. That is boundary number one. But if you endure you're like, whatever. He has done it anyway. He's a man. What will I say? He's a woman. What will I say? It is killing one of you. There's one who is affected in the other way. So you should not be this woman who is going to exactly every day pretend you endure everything that is hurting you. Protect your emotions, because setting a boundary is not disrespect. It is not taking away the love you feel. It is protection of yourself. We are going to talk about also staying emotionally connected to yourself. Sometimes people become so busy. We become too busy caring about others, and we forget checking about ourselves. We forget checking about on what we love, on what we enjoy, on what gives us comfort, on what makes us comfortable. All right? Because we think the other people matter more than we do. Even children love seeing an emotionally stable mother who is happy, who is fulfilled, who is self-respecting, like it or not. The children can tell that my mommy is not happy. There are times you can keep quiet and be on your phone, or even pretend that everything is okay, and then a child shocks you by asking you a question. Mommy, are you fine? Then you say, yes, I'm fine. But in your eyes, the child is able to sense that you're not what? You're not fine. Because they are people that enjoy an emotionally stable mother. So being that they are still into that kind of sensitivity, they can tell through the face, through the body language, that something is not right. So you should be that kind of woman who is able to emotionally be happy, physically be happy, and healthier, that everyone around you cannot sense that you're not happy. And that is going to start with the point we've talked about, support and talking about something that hurts you. Actually, on this point of emotionally connected to yourself, there are times when you get to check through yourself and you ask yourself, what kind of woman do I want to be? What is stressing me recently? What is making me uncomfortable? What kind of woman am I right now? How do I feel? Am I happy? Is everything okay with me? You just tuchita kwa kuba mutochi naye nga wekuba tochi mu mwoyo n'okusanyukako n'embeerayo eya bulijjo. Si kwa kuba mutochi ono how much I've saved, how much I've spent, nedda. Okuba mutochi ku bulamu bwo, okutereeza mind yo. Tukitegeera okutereeza mind yo mu ngeri gy'olabamu obulamu bwo, mu ngeri gye weerowoozaamu, mu ngeri kye walowooza okuba, ne mu ngeri bw'obiraba bwe bitambula. Kikuyambeko okudda ku track ku point gye twagambyeko nti simbaako kye weesigaliza ekikukwatako. Ebirooto byo tebitegeeza nti birina kufa kuba ofuuse maama oba taata. Tugambye nti sooka owadjakisenga ebbanga mwogenda obikolera, kye twandiise adjust the time frame. Nti bwe mba mmaze okuzaala abaana bange 3, ekirooto kyange kigenda tandikira kye nalootako luli, ngenda tandika okukikolako mpola mpola. Lwaki? Kubanga nakikkiririzaamu nti nali nja kukikola. Kino ekyokuzaala tetugenda kukyevuma, twebaza Katonda tuba tuzadde, wabula tukitwalenga identity. I am a mother. I can identify myself as a mother and a wife, but I have a dream. All right? Dream yeeyo wadjustinga luli ng'oli maama, kati gitandike etambule. Wano bw'onooba weereviewingamu kweno point ng'ogambye ndi mukyala kikaaki, ndi maama kikaaki, then bw'omala okweraga nti ndi maama omulungi, ndi mukyala mulungi, nfaayo eri amaka gange, nfaayo eri abaana bange, binkwatako, then w'okomerawo n'ogamba naye nze ndi ki? Who am I? Then when you ask the question of who am I, then you get to understand that you are, for me, I can say, I'm a counseling psychologist. I am a counselor. It doesn't take away that I am a mother. Yes, I am a mother, I am a wife, but at the second time, I am a counseling psychologist. I'm a psychologist. That is not going to change. All right? But it is going to drain. It is going to get drained if I do not wake up and then make my dream come true. My psychology, my counseling is not going to help me if it is not unveiled out, if it is not something that I'm doing. The passion that we've talked about, if my passion is not brought out, nobody will know that I actually ever thought of fulfilling it. Don't do it for anybody, do it for you, because that is you. That is you. If you're professional into something and then you have been a home mother for long, yes, it is okay. That is the time that we talked about. It is okay. But now an adjustment has come in. Get back to board and come out to who you are. Don't compromise the two. We have said identity does not mean that you're going to drop any of the other. It is learning to balance the two. Remaining who you are does not mean you are going to drop one identity. It is balancing the two. Then we move to another point, which is going to be, this is very nice. This is a very nice point. Avoid the pressure of being a perfect woman. It may not sound okay that the word pressure in this point, but it is okay on what I'm going to explain. When you try to be a perfect woman, a perfect person, that is where you sacrifice everything for your spouses, everything for your children, as we had started the discussion. The topic had started with sacrificing everything. The pressure of pleasing, because there is no way you're going to be a perfect person without pleasing somewhere. And through pleasing, you're going to endure everything, whether they beat you, whether they abuse you, whether they demean you, whether they belittle you, whether they do everything, you are going to make sure you endure. Whether you cry every day, whether your dream is not taken care of, your goal is not achieved, your opinion is not heard, you are going to endure because you want to be the perfect person. You're this person who never complains, you always endure, you always put yourself last. Everything that someone cares for is done, and everything is actually worked on apart from yours. Apart from what you believe in, what you want, what you requested for. And you endure. You're like, yeah, when I complain, he will say, I talk much. When I complain, he will say, no, we have said talk about the disagreement because it is emotionally okay. It is healing in the first place. We've said talk about the disagreement with respect. We didn't say talk in the kind of, no, we said talk about it with respect because it is emotionally going to protect you. So when you happen to come and prove that you are a perfect woman who doesn't complain, who doesn't talk about anything that hurts you, at the end of the day, point number 4 is going to get to you. You are emotionally going to be affected. There is no person who is never told what is not right. And the more you keep it when you are the one who is hurt, you are the one going to be draining. Sometimes people who hurt us don't care. They don't. So it gets back to you to assess yourself. What we've said, review yourself. We've talked about on the last point that I've just discussed. Before you get to be that perfect for the others, be perfect for yourself first. Because you can only give out what you have. You can only be a happy one when the decision comes from inside. If there's no decision to be happy, no one will ever make you happy. It starts with you. So mothers, women, wives, let us understand that being who we are, remaining ourselves is very, very important. It doesn't hurt in any way. So we just have another point, which is choosing partnership, non-self. Okay, we'll have another point. Choose partnership, non-self-leisure. In this point, a strong marriage is not built on one person disappearing for the other. A strong marriage is not built for one person or by one person disappearing for the other. Tekiri kye twogeddeko ekyokukola ki ekyokugamba nti obulamu bw'omuntu yenna busentalinga ku muntu omu. Marriage that is going to emotionally keep you emotionally free, remind you of the two identities and enjoying your life as you live is when the marriage is having individuality. The marriage marriage is having sharing of responsibilities. The marriage is having a disagreement and then we talk about it. The marriage is caring about the emotions of the other. The marriage believes in the goals of the other. The marriage brings about personal growth. All right? The marriage brings about mutual respect, emotional safety. The emotional safety will always come back here, actually. The emotional support, the emotional protection will always be. Why? Because everyone moves with emotions. Everyone moves with emotions. Everyone has emotions. You can just be moving on the road and someone bumps into you maybe steps on your leg or something, and then you immediately change the face. That's emotions. Someone just looks at your face and like, sorry. Then you can jeer. You know, those are emotions. Someone has even already told you sorry, but you feel there's that thing that has just come immediately because of the action that has just happened. You can even reach out and judge someone that someone did something like this and I felt this. Because emotions are not far. It is just a blink of an eye. It is immediately there. So if I'm a wife and I'm emotionally affected and I keep piling, by the time I realize that I'm bad love, I can't recover. I can't recover from it. So reminding who you are is very, very crucial when you are ready. I'm going to emphasize that when you are ready, when the time for mother happens, be a mother. When the time for wife happens, be a wife. When the time for who you are comes, please be you. Be who you are. Balance the identities. But don't kill a dream, don't kill a goal. Because you want to be a people pleaser, you want to be a perfect wife, you want to be a perfect woman, you want to be a perfect spouse. Yeah? Then they accept that identity evolves. It is just something that you're going to accept. That right now, remaining yourself does not mean staying exactly the same forever. You are going to adjust your priorities because right now you're a mother, you're a wife, and now you have grown into a certain age. The way you see love is going to change. Your dimension of how you understand love is going to change. Your priorities are going to change. Your emotions are going to grow. You're going to learn to manage them. Because not everything that will happen, you're going to burst out and find yourself out of it. You understand? The emotional growth, depth is going to come in here. Of course, we talked about priorities may mature. The goal is to remain unchanged. Unchanged we mean unchanged to the vision, to the dream, to the goal, to the priority, to the passions. Here we are seeing priorities are going to change. How are they changing? Because now you are planning as a mother. You are planning as a couple. All right? If you see your spouse is not supporting your goals, supporting your dreams, the relationship is supposed to be healthy to support your growth. We discussed that. It is supposed to support your growth. If the relationship is not supporting your growth, that means the relationship is not healthy. You don't have a healthy relationship. Then you're going to thrive through life as a woman and make sure your dream doesn't die because the dream is who you are. All right? We are now looking at the goal is to remain connected to your core values, your voices, humanity, while you're growing through the new role. The new role is the mother and the wife. So the values are going to grow in you when you have decided that you have to bring it out. If you're going to be a pleaser woman, if you're going to be this centered person like we talked about, your life is all going to be centered on your husband. My husband said, my children don't need me here, my children don't need me to do this. Then that means you don't believe in who you are and you're not ready to improve your life or get somewhere. Do you know that you can nurture others without abandoning yourself? Think about it. You can still nurture others without abandoning yourself. Osobola okukuza abalala bulungi nnyo, osobola okulabirira abalala bulungi nnyo, osobola okuba omukyala bulungi nnyo, era osobola okuba maama omulungi ennyo nga naawe teweesuuliridde ku biruubirirwa byo, ku bigendererwa byo, ku kyokkiririzaamu. Osobola okubeera omuntu oyo asobola okubalansinga obukyala n'obufumbo, era asobola okubalansinga ebiruubirirwa byo.